Doing things last minute, especially when it comes to marketing, is going to absolutely destroy your business, your pipeline, and any momentum that you've built up, which sounds obvious knowledge, right? Of course, who doesn't know that? But I'm actually going to explain in this video how that's actually going to explain why you may be feeling overwhelmed, wondering where the resources are going to come from, and most importantly, where your next client is going to come from. We run these promotional offers to get money in the business, to generate new clients, start working with new people, and build out new opportunities. But yeah, with Black Friday coming up this Friday, what I'm seeing is so many people are now doing their stories and promotional stuff. They haven't done anything last week or the week before. They're literally just doing Black Friday, and this week. And what you need to understand as a business owner is that the key to growth, the key to that next stage lies in your systems and your strategy, and essentially how well you can plan those out. But what I want you to do is start to reframe. You basically have to redefine what's normal. So in this channel, we're sort of going to be going into business, structuring systems, growth, scaling, all the fancy stuff, right? But then we're also going to start going into the mindset and the neurological decisions that you can start to make as a business owner to start putting yourself in the best position forwards. So if we start to look at why you may feel stressed, why you may be looking at other people's stories, and I see it time and time again, my clients have even came to me with it before, you know, you're sort of wondering, other people in your industry are posting all these stories, they've got booked out calendars, inquiries coming out the back end, and they're just absolutely rammed full, and yet you are just not up to that standard. We've got to understand why. Why is that actually happening? And what I need you to do, and what you should actually start doing, is start looking at these timelines and these horizons in months, not weeks, months. Black Friday, if you're only doing your Black Friday now, this should have been done 8 weeks ago. There's coaches and service-based business owners that I see that have been on the ball with this. They've been talking about this for months now. They've already planned it out. They've already got a pipeline that is warmed, ready, and very, very reactive to the offers that they're putting out now. On the other side, I see people that are lost. You see them and they're just flinging out, you know, discounts and money off, and they're basically commoditizing the business. And the only way to win a commodity battle is to go down to zero. So here's what you need to do instead. Pick up the timeline and start reversing backwards, right? So you want to essentially reverse engineer it and start thinking about what is your actual outcome. Most people think of Black Friday as a one-dimensional aspect. They think, do a discount and that's it. Black Friday and a discount can be done absolutely anywhere. It can be done in a multitude of ways. It doesn't necessarily have to be a discount. You can actually start to combine stuff. You can start to stack different offers. So maybe it could be a discount into your flagship program or flagship service, but then on top of that, they get access to an online platform. They get a discount or perhaps a free service or a freebie product. It could be anything. What you need to start doing is Black Friday and your offers, how well you can actually build an offer, doesn't necessarily have to just regard around price, doesn't have to just revolve around the number. If anything, what you want to be doing is focusing on the benefit and what that actually provides to someone. Black Friday and all of these promotional stuff, we've got January sales, we've got Boxing Day, we've got so many different things up and on the horizon, right? And most people approach them just thinking, how can I charge less? Doesn't have to be that way whatsoever. You want to do it when you're actually designing these offers, and this is something I always do with my clients, is what is the actual benefit? If you can actually understand the benefit of your offer and actually understand the benefit of when this goes live, what is that going to do for your audience, that then will allow you to create a strategy. You'll understand what type of content to put out. You'll understand how you need to be speaking to your audience. Because when you understand these things now, all of a sudden, you're not lost with post ideas. You're not wondering where the next client is going to come from because you've already got a strategy in place. But again, the point I really want to make is start thinking in months. So one of the things I'm working on with my clients, and one that comes to mind, is a beautician business that I'm working with, right? So big shift that we've made is going from just beautician provider, so lashes, tech stuff, nails, whatever that is, right? That's the industry we're in. We've gone from service provider to now education. So what that means is we've now gone from doing the service to now teaching others how to do the service. That has completely revolutionized the business. And that's not necessarily putting me on a high horse or whatever, but it's completely changed how this business can now grow. It's changed how they can go from just waiting for the next client to come in, working on retainers, new clients, and just running offers, to now actually building a course. So we built a full online platform where, in a sense, they can now sell their education, their knowledge, and it basically allows them to create an evergreen platform. But all of that aside, we're not thinking Black Friday, we're not thinking January, we're already set until February, March time. That is the scale, that is the timeline that you want to start operating on. Because when you start thinking months, all of a sudden, all of these future moves, instead of being reactive to the market, you start to actually respond to the market. You actually start to create your own way instead of being told what to do. Because if you do this last minute, let's just say you're in the typical camp that a lot of people are in. You haven't really done any offers and you know that Friday is coming up and you know that you need to be doing something. Naturally, now you're just thinking, right, let's fling out a discount, let's just reduce the prices and see what happens. This responsive style to marketing in your industry is not going to serve you well. By actually responding, so there's always two things, and we'll do a separate video on this. You can always react or you can respond to something. When you react, your hands are constantly tied behind your back because you can only look at what people want. You can only look at what others are doing and simply copy that. But then when you copy that, you're always going to be dependent on your next move as to what other people are doing. You have to be unique, you have to be rooted in your own niche, your dream customer profile. Again, that's a separate video. So already in this channel, we've got so many different topics to be planned out. But if you can actually be rooted in what it is that you offer, you can now actually respond to your audience and you can actually bring them something that's going to benefit them. The price in and of itself is completely useless. It doesn't really matter. One thing I'm always working on with promotional offers is who do you actually want coming into the business? Now, I've seen this time and time again, and it's not going to be any different this Friday or January or New Year, whatever the time frame is, whenever the next promotional phase comes about, right? You drop your prices drastically, and what happens is you get people in the business, yes, but what's the likelihood of them actually going onto your higher ticket program? What's the likelihood of them actually being a good fit for your business? Because the people that you're working with and that you're offering a service to are a reflection of your business yourself. And I've learned this lesson the hard way myself, and I've also worked with it with my clients as well. So if you can learn to start being responsive to the market instead of reactive, you'll actually be able to put out the right content. But not necessarily the right content just to get money in the business on Friday, the right content that will actually bring the right people into your business. So this is why, again, that we mentioned earlier, it doesn't necessarily have to be about price and drop in to just simply be the cheapest, right? Even that in and of itself can actually taint your current business model. One thing that I've seen, and I'm only going to take this from another person in my space, we're sort of similar service providers but different games. What people do is they will discount their existing service. So online coaches, for example, you'll be offering an online coaching service, and what they'll do is they'll discount their existing coaching service. But you've already got paying clients in the business, so now they're going to be ticked off because they're paying full price for something and you've just dropped the price. This is the wrong way to be doing Black Friday offers. Instead, what you want to be doing is a completely different new program, shorter time frame, not necessarily as bespoke as, say, your premium flagship program, but something that is a bit lower ticket. And then you'd use that as a way to upsell onto your premium program offer. Again, this boils down to strategy. Don't think about Friday of getting money in the business. Think about how they can essentially be upsold into your business. All of this comes from thinking steps ahead, not just what's in front of you or what's actually happening, but more so what's happening in months to come and what do you actually want to happen. A lot of people, and I see this all the time, you know, I just had a call with someone earlier on this week, and they're in this position where they're constantly thinking, what is it that they have to do? They're constantly being adaptable. They're changing their niche to the market, to the content. They're doing dances and using trending audios as simply just a way of marketing. All of these things make you reactive, and you're constantly being torn from pillar to post, and you're not really ever finding your feet. And this again is where it starts to create those feelings of, right, I don't know where my next client's going to come from. I'm run off my feet because I'm trying to service my existing clients, but also build a pipeline to make sure that there's always going to be interest coming into the business. All of this starts to change when you can actually start to have a strategy in place, a clear understanding of who it is that you serve, and actual benefit when it comes to your dream customer profile, the pain points that you're solving, and the benefits that you can bring to their journey. So waffling aside, let's now go into frameworks. What can you actually do? I'm going to draw a line in the sand and say that you've missed Black Friday. That is just the reality of it. You can run an offer, sure, you'll probably do something about it, but for the most part, Black Friday is done and dusted. What you now want to be doing is start looking at January onwards. If you can look at your first quarter, again, this is just something that small business owners don't do. We're focused on the month and the week. Start thinking in quarters. Start operating like somebody who runs a company. So what is your Q1 actually going to look like? The framework that I want you to start doing here is when it comes to January, you're going to have this influx of people. regardless of the service industry you're in. Could be aesthetics, could be fitness coaching, you could be another consultancy owner like myself. All of these people are going to be seeking new change. Something happens in that January, that new year, new me. And I know it sounds that would only be relevant to people that are just going to the gym, but I can assure you it happens everywhere. In multiple industries, multiple spaces, all at different levels. Come January, everybody wants to change. So you as a business owner now need to respond to that. Instead of reacting to it in January and you're wondering, right, what can you offer, what's new, what can I go read, what can I go study and copy, you now want to be responding. Respond now. So who do you want to actually come into your business? What do you possess in your business that is a unique selling point that will allow you to actually offer something of value to the market? If you can start to understand that and put that in place, you then just basically want to package that up. It could be offer stacking. So it could be a redesign of your new program. I always do this with my clients. When it comes to your flagship program, gut the entire thing every 6 months. Structure it, analyze it, break it, strip it down, rebuild it back up. You could very much be in alignment with doing that come January. So now what you've got is you've got from November right until end of December where you could be working on an entirely new program ready to launch in January. So now what we're looking at here is forget about 2026, forget about January. The time is now. Your new year has started now. Your Q1 has started now. And if you can start to create this style of thinking, reframe what is normal, what is actually a time frame, that is going to be the thing that's going to put you ahead of stuff. It's going to put you ahead of your competition. And even that aside, it's going to get rid of that stress, that overwhelm. And you're not going to be in a position of wondering where your next client is going to be coming from. You're going to be in a position of thinking, do you have the right system to welcome that influx of new interest and potential candidates coming into the business? So you could be booking out your calendar by now with introduction calls. You could be doing discounts on existing treatments in the terms of introductions, inductions, where people are coming in for the first course of treatments, or they're doing the first month of coaching. There's a whole host of things that you can be doing now, all by being respondent to the market and actually going forwards and thinking, this is what we're going to do in January. Q1 is going to look like this. Let's just say you don't want to do a new offer. Instead, what you can now be working on is lead generation purposes. You can start essentially filming all of your ads now. Because if you can understand that come January, people want to change, they want to get into new careers, they want to scale and grow their existing business, they want to feel more confident in themselves, could be anything. Whatever that dream outcome is, your ad creatives and your promotional stuff in terms of your marketing strategy needs to be changing. I'm going to do a separate video on this and show you basically the entire content strategy that I use to basically take my account from 0 followers and fresh to multiple eyes on the business. Essentially go from nothing to something in a very short period of time. All of that is derived from how well you can present yourself online. And so in January, for example, or in that first stage of Q1, you can create an entirely new marketing strategy, an entirely new set of ad creatives that is already done and dusted. One of the things that we see all the time is you'll go to film a video, you'll go to film an ad. How many times did it take? It's took me about 3 tries just to do this video alone. So let's just say if I had to get this video out by 20, 30 minutes from now, I'll be absolutely fried. I won't be wondering, I won't know what to do. I'd be slurring my words. I'd have to start over again. The stress and the overwhelm will be there. But because I've just filmed this video and it goes out whenever, I'm fine. I can think better. I can speak more clearly. The exact same goes for your strategy and thinking. Start thinking now. Start thinking about your Q1. Your new year's already started. This is the game that we play as business owners. So do you need to work on a new strategy? Do you need to work on a new form of messaging? Very, very secret hint is that if people are wanting change, you need to basically match your marketing strategy to the emotions and the psychology of the people at that stage. So these people are going to be aware that they have a problem. They're going to be looking around the market, and essentially some of them are going to be cash in hand ready to buy. So usually I will be saying push content that makes them problem aware, that makes them think I need to change. But in January, it's the complete opposite. They're already aware they've got a problem. They're already aware they want to change. So instead, what you want to be doing, speaking about your program, speaking about what it is that you do, absolutely screaming about your client success stories. And if that is the marketing strategy that you're going to be pushing, of all the people that are seeking change and are essentially wanting to go forwards in that January New Year, you're essentially ahead of the crowd because you're telling them, this is what I do, here's how I'm different, and here's how I can get you from your position of pain to your position of pleasure, your dream outcome. That's the strategy that you want to be working towards. So I'm going to wrap the video up there. This is obviously the first video of many. I'm going to be uploading quite frequently, and there'll be a lot of shorts to come from this. But from that, let me know how you thought about it in the comments.